Hello and welcome to Comics with Jose. My name is Jose. I love comics and I want to share them with you. Follow me on Twitter at Art of J Velez or on Instagram at jvelez622 where I share some doodles that I work on and a little comic book story that I'm currently working on as well, free of charge. I do this for fun and I just enjoy talking and sharing comic books. Like, follow, and subscribe if you like the channel. We're going to go over comic book stories that I have. I own a lot of comic books over the years. We're going to use digital, however, because it's easier to share on digital on your computer screen or phone. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Hope I haven't scared you back with my whiny, high-pitched voice. My name is Jose, and we are going to go through comic books that I enjoyed when I was just a young pup growing up. This is from 1989, Amazing Spider-Man number 316, where Venom is returning back into Peter's life. As we saw in 315, he has escaped from the Supermax prison, and he is going to go to pay Peter a visit. First thing we're gonna look at is these amazing. Look at all these lines. McFarlane is really good at creating these lines. And notice something here really quick. The lines, they kind of just go any which way. Notice that they kind of just start. I mean, he's not really even bringing them to a point. He's just throwing lines. So this poster, or this cover, has been made into posters, has been made into so many different things. It's probably one of his more famous posters. When I saw this sitting on the rack when I went into the comic book store back in the day, I didn't even buy it at a comic book store. I think I bought this at a supermarket. Back in the day, comic books actually were sold everywhere, not just a comic book store. Now you're kind of can only get them at a comic book store, but you could buy these suckers anywhere. You could get them at a 7-Eleven or any of your supermarkets. I grew up in Orlando and we had an Albertsons, which I don't think they're there anymore, but I would walk to Albertsons every Wednesday to see what new comic books had come out. Back then, I mean, these things were $1, a whole dollar. You tell me how a kid could afford $1 back then. Imagine, comic books are $5 now. So it's very difficult to continue buying comic books. I only buy a couple comic books nowadays. I just don't find the price worth what you kind of get in them. So I still buy comic books, and Amazing Spider-Man is one of them. So Todd McFarlane is an absolute fantastic artist. I just love his art. Love it, love it, love it. It is a shame he hardly draws now. He is a businessman, has a huge toy company, very successful toy company, but I'm a little bit selfish. I really wish he would go back to drawing. He is one of the most influential artists ever, and although he has maybe, I would say 50 to 60 issues of actual penciled work, that little output that he put out changed everything. McFarlane at during this time was the hottest artist that there ever was. Him and Jim Lee, those were the two alphas during comic books in the late 80s and early 90s. So, this is a very striking cover. So, here we go. Venom is in the New York subways. This homeless fan found him, and he's running. Written by David McFarlane, as he is called, although I called him Michelini when I was growing up because, what did I know? He doesn't want anyone to know that he's there. and he uses this poor little rat as an example as he kills it. So he wants him to know that he will kill him if he says anything, and Venom says, "I believe you." Venom was a bad guy, although he has been now more. He's more heroic now, very popular, but he was originally a villain, and he's living in the subway, getting ready to attack and fight Spider-Man and get his revenge. Love, love, love Todd McFarlane's rendition of Venom. I love Todd McFarlane's rendition of everything, so I guess it doesn't really matter. I wish Todd McFarlane would draw everyone. So, off to lift weights. If you take a look at some of McFarlane's tropes, men, small little eyes. Everyone gets big ears, big nose. He does a lot of hatching, just tons of hatching. He puts in hatching, and when you think he hasn't put enough hatchings, he will put some more hatchings. So Peter is trying to take some pictures for his alter ego, Peter Parker. He still works at the Daily Bugle. He wasn't going to do anything, but of course he sees this guy who's going to kill the guard or the police officer. So he's going to interfere and saves the guy. Todd McFarlane is he puts Spider-Man in just these dynamic poses, and I think that's why it resonated. No one had done this prior to Todd. No one. Other people now have, of course, copied that because you copy success, and when you find something that works, you keep doing it. So even after McFarlane left, every artist after Marvel, this is what they wanted. This was the formula that they want. You know, for maybe 10 years, this is what Marvel wanted. Eventually, though, John Romita Jr. returned to Spider-Man and kind of simmered things down and give him more of a classical look again. So McFarlane draws very skinny buildings, and they're all tall. Every single one is like 200 stories tall. So this is a rather large panel. He normally does smaller panels and saves his, big panels. So normally he you don't see him with a 3-page or a 3-panel page. So he's heading in to see if he can get some more work. He's talking to Mary Jane. She's a model, and she had a modeling gig that was canceled. And they talk for a little bit, and the Black Cat has made an appearance. And real quick, there's another title out there called Spectacular Spider-Man, and they're kind of just showing things. He's spider sense is tingling, but that is for a different. They're just kind of interconnecting the titles. So here, Peter, you take a look at Todd McFarlane's rendition of Peter here. He is so where he just uses and puts half their face, but most people will put either one side or the other, and McFarlane just puts in just right the middle. Love the tropes. He does these amazing vertical panels. Again, all the huge buildings. He's obviously not looking outside. He's just rendering buildings. The Black Cat has shown up. She's in Peter's old apartment where Venom is looking for him. And here's what I mean. Look at the big eyes. Big lips. That's how he kind of draws his women. Venom and her kind of get into a short little scuffle, but it won't last very long. Venom defeats her. She wants to find Peter, but she, of course, doesn't know. And he's gonna find him. And Black Cat did not realize that Peter had gotten married. And she's at the old apartments, and Venom. She kind of feels a chill. She was traumatized by Venom in Amazing Spider-Man 300, and says she felt a chill. And she is upstairs, and Peter's gonna see kind of what's going on, and she says he's back, and realizes Venom has has been released. So he's trying to figure out how come nobody contacted him. He's very upset, and he's gonna go look for him. This here, if you can't tell, this is a photocopy. This is before the days of Photoshop. Right now, you would just get an image, put it in Photoshop, do a little magic, and turn it into an ink drawing or whatever. Back in the day, and this was even started in the 60s, they would just photocopy something, and then the guy would just draw Spider-Man in the middle of that photocopy to not have to draw all those buildings. So I always said this is fine. You got to do what you got to do, but I probably would have inked a little bit of these buildings so that it looks with a little bit more of your style, because you can clearly tell in the background. The background is different. You can tell it's not his art. So I would have tried to render a little bit to give it a, it's not that you're trying to fool anyone, just so that it looks all together with the art. Once again, look at these poses that he puts him in. Here's that kind of triangle-ish toe. Big eyes, the spaghetti web, everything about Todd McFarlane is right there. Love this, the side view, just amazing. And he's kind of looking for Venom, but Venom found him. And so we go to round one to fight. Venom quickly shows how stronger he is. They go into a meat locker. Venom rips the slab of meat and throws in the blood that is put in when they slaughter the cows, and it does something to Spider-Man. He freaks out and escapes. He panicked, but he left something behind where he's staying. And here it says, "Guess who's coming to dinner?" So, Amazing Spider-Man number 316 from 1989. Like, follow, subscribe if you are enjoying this. Thank you.